Hello and welcome to the first episode of Trash into Treasures podcast series on circular and resource-wise ways to make decisions in our everyday life. My name is Ann-Christine Richkoff. I'm from Click Innovation Ltd. and I'm hosting you during this series and episodes. And today we are focusing on something very, very close to home, citizen engagement in the circular economy. When we hear about the circular economy, we often think about industry, legislation, or big infrastructure, but circularity actually starts much earlier. It starts in our kitchens, our wardrobes, our classrooms, and neighborhoods. In this episode, we will explore how individuals, us, citizens, me and you, can make circular choices in their daily lives, why it matters, and how these actions are connected to something bigger. With me today, we have Teele Joost from Tallinn City, from Estonia. You are working in Tallinn Strategic Management Office, and you are an expert how to engage citizens into circular habits. And I really thank you for joining this podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I work at the City of Tallinn, where I focus on circular economy topics. Over the years, I have led working groups, managed various circular economy projects, and worked on green public procurements. I feel really lucky because this work is also something I'm deeply passionate about. To me, the circular economy isn't just a trend. It's a necessary part of how we respond to climate change.
And actually, Estonia is one of the front runners into how to engage people to achieve the targets of the circularity.
I really hope so, yeah.
Maybe in the later phase you can tell some examples that what kind of initiatives you have ongoing. And
yes, absolutely. I think we'll reach to that.
Okay, very good. Well, let's begin with the question that's probably on many of our minds. So the circular solutions, it might sound a little bit fuzzy for the people. So what can one like me, like an individual, realistically do in my or his or her daily life to really reduce the waste they are producing or to promote sustainable ways to act? How do you think?
We can do a lot. We can reduce, we can reuse, we can fix items. We can just decide not to buy something. Everything this matters when we're talking about circular economy.
And especially I think that bio-waste and plastics are those areas which has a lot of interest by the common people, that how can I reduce bio-waste, what can I do with it, plastics, can I avoid it, can I reduce the use, or what should I do? Do you have any insights on
Absolutely. When it comes to food waste, the smartest thing I'd say would be to avoid producing food waste in the first place. More than half of Europeans' food waste comes from households. And honestly, I think this number should and could be a lot lower. One simple habit that everybody should adapt to their everyday life is just pause before buying something and think through what do they already have at home in their fridge, especially what needs to be used up soon. And after knowing this, just make decision what to buy more. With just a bit more attention and planning, we could definitely reduce food waste and make positive impact. And when food scraps do happen, it's super important to sort them properly. If we separate bio-waste, it can be turned into biogas and compost, which means that we are creating green energy and giving nutrients back to soil instead of just throwing all this away. That's really circular thinking. And you also asked about plastics. Now plastics are a bit trickier. Not all type of plastics can be recycled, and the ones that can be, they can't be recycled forever. So the key here is to reduce plastics wherever it's easy to do so. There are very, very simple examples, like use your own water bottles instead of buying bottled water every time. Or choose products with less plastic or less plastic packages. Taking a moment before buying anything new would certainly help just to reduce emotional shopping. And again, sorting matters. If we don't separate our plastic waste, it won't get recycled. But if we do, at least some of it can come back as another product or another plastic packaging. Another important thing is to stay open to new initiatives that help to reduce plastics. For example, in Estonia, we already have national legislation that says food and drinks at public events must be served in reusable dishes only. And many cities are currently experimenting with similar approaches. As consumer, it's really important to keep an open mind, especially when the new solutions are aimed at doing something good.
Yeah, I have heard about that. I think it's very, very fascinating. So how people like it, and is it easy to adapt to this kind of initiatives?
I don't want to say that it's easy, and nothing big is ever easy to implement, but reactions have been varied, I'd say. There are still people who doesn't like it, but we have more and more people who are getting used to that, and they see why we are doing this, and if something is already as a norm, and it's already becoming a norm in Estonia, then you just live with that.
Absolutely. And also I think that what individuals can do, for example, to reduce the food waste is that you should look your kitchen closets, that what you have in the back there, because at least I have this tendency that, okay, I have some old stuff which are there, and then I buy something new and I use the new, but I forget that I have already something. And also the fridge is the same. I mean, the freezer is the same, that I have, okay, this was like 2 years ago, maybe I should use it.
Yes. Yeah. Very smart way is to implement some kind of system in your fridge or other cupboards. Also, I've heard that some people have the certain place in their fridge where they put these items which should be used up soon, so they are every time know that they have to pick from this place.
Well, we have been dealt with bio-waste and plastics, but I think that the electronic devices, that's a bit more complicated area, because to sort or to get rid of the electronic devices, it's not that easy. And is there actually a circular way to deal with this? I mean, from the individual and citizen point of view?
Yeah, electronics are tricky ones too, but there are some ways to deal with them in more circular way. First of all, best thing you can do is use your device as long as possible. We shouldn't rush to upgrade just because there is a new model out. If you still have something that works, keep using it. When something breaks, check if it can be repaired. There are more and more repair cafes and services popping up where you can fix things instead of throwing them away. And if your phone or laptop really can't be used again, it's super important to take it to a proper e-waste collection point, because that way some valuable parts like metals can be used again. And also some companies now offer refurbished electronics, which means they fix up used devices and sell them at lower price. So buying second-hand can also be a great option.
Absolutely. And circular economy it's not only about recycling, but it's also reusing and swapping and sharing and repairing things, as you already mentioned. But how does it look like in everyday life to borrow, rent, or buy second-hand instead of buy something new? So are people willing to do that? And is it sort of convenient way for people to do it?
People does something if it's convenient, so it has to be. Reusing, swapping, and sharing are really smart everyday habits. They save money, reduce waste, and just make more sense, especially in a world where we already have too much stuff. Let's take cars, for example. Most of private cars are just parked 90% of the time. Instead of owning a car, you can use rental services. In Estonia, for example, we have a Bolt Drive service, which is really popular and really convenient to use. Because you just book a Bolt Drive car with your phone, use it for your trip, and after you don't need it anymore, you just leave it. It's super practical. You don't need to own your own car if you don't need it every day. There are also simple everyday moments of reuse that people don't even think about. Like at schools, lost and found clothes often pile up, and some schools sell them at spring fairs for symbolic price. It's a nice way to reuse things and support the school at the same time.
Yeah. I was thinking that there probably is some local initiatives, maybe some apps or platforms which in a way helps people to reuse or swap or share.
Absolutely. There are quite a few local initiatives that make it easy and sometimes even fun to reuse and share. One very cool example is reuse rooms at the waste stations that we have in Tallinn and some other cities too. People bring their things that they do not need anymore, and other can take them home for free. It's a great way to give stuff
absolutely
second life.
Yes.
And food sharing is another growing trend, I'd say.
Can you elaborate that a little bit more, because that's very interesting?
Yes. At least in Estonia, I don't know about the other countries so well, but we have community fridges in some neighborhoods where people leave their extra food they're not planning to use, but they bought in some reason. Others can take it from these fridges. And now even kindergartens have started to doing this. If there's leftover food that kids don't eat, parents can take it home from the fridge. And Bolt Drive is a great app-based service that makes sharing service easy and accessible.
About repairing things, I mean, we have been discussed quite a lot of that in recent times, and it comes also from the EU initiatives and legislation that things should be repairable. But how repairable they are actually today, like phones or appliances or even clothing?
To be honest, a lot of things today aren't easy to fix. Phones are glued shut, gadgets are full of tiny parts, and clothes are often made so cheap they don't last long. But I'd say it's not all bad. Some companies are starting to design things with repair in mind, like using screws instead of gluing cases or offering spare parts. So yeah, there is still a long way to go, but the awareness is growing.
There's changes little by little, but what would make easier for people to fix things rather than throw them away? Do you think that there's kind of generational differences, that old people are more apt to fix things and young people are more like to, okay, I'll buy a new one because this is old fashioned or whatever?
Yes, unfortunately, I agree, because maybe there are several reasons why it's that way, but I can see as older people are more likely to repair and younger aren't so much. Maybe the reason is also that older people have some knowledge about repairing and younger probably doesn't.
Mm. Well, let's hope that repairing is coming more common, and there might be some repair cafes or community workshops which not only do the fixing but also teach people to maybe do something by themselves. Have you any knowledge of this kind of activity?
Yes, in Estonia there are some really nice repair cafes popping up. They're usually run by volunteers, and the idea is quite simple. You just bring your broken item, like maybe a toaster or jacket, and someone helps you to fix it. But Tallinn has now made a step ahead because now we have set up some permanent repair workshops, mostly next to the way stations. And they work pretty much in the same way. The only difference is that instead of volunteers, we have now hired people to help in fixing in these places. So it's not just about saving the item, it's also about learning something new and meeting new people.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe also it creates some new business potentiality and opportunities to people when they see that actually repairing can be very, very useful. And
yes, I absolutely hope so. And I've seen some initiatives going that way, but nothing to share for now, but hopefully next time.
Yeah, very interesting. Related to this teaching and learning, actually the circular thinking is something what starts very early phase in your lifetime, and education has a very big role there. So my question to you is that how should and could this circular thinking be promoted in schools in the ways that the children really starts to think in a circular and sustainable way from the very beginning?
Kids are naturally curious and hands-on, so circular thinking works best when they can really do something with it. Not just sit and listen, but create, try, explore, and even get a little bit messy. It's exciting when they get to build something out of waste, take care of compost or trade items with friends. When circular habits become part of everyday school life, not just one-time project, kids starts to care and think differently.
So do you have this kind of hands-on projects ongoing in Estonia at schools?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many great activities that get kids involved. For example, some kindergartens and schools have small gardens and compost bins where kids help turn food scraps into soil. It's such a great way for them to see the circle with their own eyes.
All right. If we continue with this education and circular thinking, the teachers might, and also the parents, of course, have a very big role in to educate their offsprings to learn these circular habits. So, how do you see that? How could we support them, the teachers and the parents, in order to do this work?
The support can be different, and the support is absolutely needed. We have some teachers that are really great at bringing the idea of circular mindset into everyday lessons and activities, but many still need more support and trainings. And circular thinking is a new topic for a lot of adults too, so it's quite fair that they need help and support. What I would like to point out is that the importance of consistency. Kids shouldn't get mixed messages.
Yes.
It doesn't help if a lesson talks about the importance of sorting waste, but school doesn't even have separate bins. Or if a child hears about reusing but sees adult constantly showing off new stuff and talking how great it is. So parents and teachers need to walk the talk.
Yes.
And small everyday choices matter, like using reusable water bottle, on mending things, or celebrating creative reuse instead of always buying new. Kids noticed everything.
Yes. But actually the circularity matters to individuals in many ways, and one which might be maybe unfortunately the best trigger is that you might have some economical benefits if you think in the circular and sustainable way. Is it actually so that it's for saving money or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. When you repair things, borrow instead of buy or choose secondhand, you often spend a lot less. And because you're more intentional about what you bring into your life, you avoid buying stuff you don't really need. That's good for wallet, and your home is less cluttered too.
Yes. And emotionally also it can create a sort of sense of well-being and satisfaction for people. I don't know if you are aware of any this kind of emotional studies that how this kind of doing good is influencing on people's well-being.
Using things fully and giving them a second life, there's something really satisfying in it. It's not just about being sustainable, it's about being thoughtful. It creates feeling of making thoughtful, meaningful choices. Circular habits often slow us down in a good way, I'd say. And you're not stuck in the circle of wanting something new all the time. You start to enjoy and feel content with what you already own.
Absolutely. I would like to also ask, is there some kind of misbeliefs concerning of circularity you have faced when you have doing your studies or in your daily based workings, that people think something like, okay, I can't sort because of this and that, or I can't repair because of this and that?
What's behind it, it's usually conveniency. If it's not convenient enough, some people won't do it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if we are talking about repairing anything or sorting waste or growing our own food or whatever. Most of us, we have to admit we are convenient persons, and we do what's convenient for us. A lot of the time, people say that they do not have time for it, but it's all about making choices. If we take time for something, then we have the time, and if we decide not to take the time for repairing, for example, then we don't have it.
And then there's a cost, and how much it does cost to people to repair or?
Yes, there is. You have always two options, or actually you have three. You either buy a new product that's most expensive one. In most of the time, you can take the item to someone who will repair it for you. And unfortunately, this is mostly the same expensive as buying new. Very often it's that way. And that's the reason why a lot of items will not get fixed because it's just not economically reasonable. But the cheapest option is to repair something by your own hands. If you find a YouTube tutorial which helps you to do that, or you find a repair cafe, or maybe you already have that knowledge.
Yeah. And it might be so that actually this item you have repaired, it might last longer than the new one.
It might. And I would say if you have repaired something by your own hands, the item is much more
valuable
for you.
Absolutely. So are we actually returning to the old wisdom, because circular economy, it's not entirely new. Many of these ideas, reusing, mending, growing our own food, are very, very common in the past. At least my generation's grandparents, that was typical thing for them to do. They didn't even think that, okay, I throw this away and buy a new one, because that wasn't possible. And also they were raised in a different way. And of course, the times were different. So this circularity has been part of our history. And in many places, still everything is used as much as possible. So are we now going to the past and have we created a better 2.0 version of the old wisdom on circularity?
That's true. Circular economic isn't something totally new, and our grandparents and great-grandparents grew their own food, used things as long as the things last. And it wasn't called sustainable. It was just common sense.
Absolutely. And I hope that this common sense is coming a normal mindset of us all too.
But you were asking about how is it now? I'd say more and more people are starting to value things that last now, and food that's grown nearby, and handmade things, and just a simple way of living. And I'd say we're not going backward, as some people think. But we're learning to take some of these values with us into the future. So in a way, circular living isn't just about innovation. It's about remembering what we already knew before and making it to fit into our modern life.
That was a very great ending to this episode. Before we wrap up this session, I still would like to ask you, Teele, to give a message or takeaway for the audience. That what would be the one simple but a powerful act what each of us could do?
I recommend the same that I brought out before buying anything new. Take a moment and ask yourself, do you already have something like that? Can I borrow it? And can I fix something I have? This one, a small habit, pausing before buying something, can lead to a whole mindset shift. It helps to value what you already have, waste less, and make more thoughtful choices.
It was a great recommendation and takeaway to all of us. And that actually brings us to the end of today's episode. From borrowing instead of buying to repairing rather than replacing, we have seen how everyday choices can have a meaningful impact, and how the circular economy is in many ways a return to values we known all along. A big thank to Teele for you.
Thank you.
And also to you listeners. And please share this episode to your friends and people you know, and stay tuned because more on circular and resource-wise living is coming. So until next time, stay tuned and take care.